Now, the death toll from the powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Myanmar on Friday is currently over 1,600. And officials fear that the number will keep climbing as rescue teams scramble through the wreckage. Myanmar's military-led government says at least 3,400 have been injured and 139 are still missing. To make matters worse, the country is already in a grip of a brutal civil war, making relief efforts even more dangerous and challenging. The quake's epicenter was near Mandalay, Myanmar's second largest city, and the destruction has been massive. Buildings have been crumbled, bridges have been collapsed, and a dam even burst, cutting off access to the entire region. The shockwaves weren't just limited to Myanmar. Over in Thailand, the quake shook the entire country, hitting Bangkok, a city of 17 million, especially hard. So far, reports have suggested that at least 17 people have died and 78 are still missing in Thailand. As rescue operations continue and teams continue to dig through the rubble, heart-wrenching visuals have surfaced of a 30-year-old woman who was rescued alive after lying under the rubble for 30 hours. She was lying underneath the rubble from the Sky Villa condominium in Mandalay, Myanmar. These visuals capture the extent of catastrophe that's hit the region and the pain and anxiousness that the people are struggling with in this region. In northern Thailand, including Chiang Mai, homes, hospitals and temples suffered significant damage. With more than 3 million people already displaced by the war and 20 million in desperate need, this earthquake has created a full-blown humanitarian disaster. Meanwhile, the world is coming together to help the crisis-ridden nation. Apart from India, China has sent a 37-member team equipped with drones, medical kits and earthquake detectors. Russia has also deployed 2 planes carrying 120 rescuers. Malaysia is also chipping in with sending 50 aid workers. Meanwhile, South Korea donated $2 million in form of aid. United Nations has also released $5 million to jumpstart relief efforts. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has also pledged support through concerns remaining about the budget cuts to foreign aid. Meanwhile, Myanmar's military isn't stopped attacking even in quake-ravaged regions, with reports of 3 airstrikes in affected zones. Blocked roads, crumbling infrastructure and a lack of access are already making it incredibly hard to get aid where it's most needed. Blood donations are urgently needed as hospitals struggle to cope with the injured. The situation is dire and relief workers are in a race against time to pull survivors from the rubble. Without immediate and sustained global support, the crisis could even spiral further out of control.
The number killed in Myanmar's catastrophic earthquake has passed 1,000, its military government said on Saturday. That's a sharp increase from initial reports of 144 dead And experts are warning Myanmar's final death toll could be much, much higher. The US Geological Survey's predictive modelling has estimated it could be over 10,000. It also warned that losses could exceed the impoverished Southeast Asian country's annual economic output. Friday's quake collapsed buildings and crippled critical infrastructure in a country already torn apart by a grinding civil war. Plan International's Sumon Tay said the situation in the central city of Mandalay, near the epicenter, was desperate.
The building damage was so severe, and people are just, they so shocked. People are just, desperate, devastated. And when I see the damage at the bridges and the roads, it was so huge. I have never seen anything like that in my life before.
The quake also killed several people in neighbouring Thailand and brought down an under-construction skyscraper in Bangkok. Foreign rescue workers began flying into Myanmar on Saturday to assist in the search for survivors. That was after a rare call for help on Friday from junta leader General Min Aung Hlaing, who seized power in a 2021 military coup that ousted a civilian government. A Chinese rescue team has arrived in Myanmar's commercial capital Yangon, south of the hardest hit cities, Mandalay, and the country's purpose-built capital, Naypyidaw. Russia, India, Malaysia, and Singapore were sending relief supplies and personnel, and South Korea said it would provide an initial $2 million in humanitarian aid. The United States, which has a testy relationship with Myanmar and has sanctioned its officials, has said it would provide some assistance.
Well, it's not just Myanmar, but Thailand is also reeling under the aftermath of this devastating earthquake. Here's another report.
More than 100 people are dead after a powerful earthquake rocked Myanmar on Friday, according to authorities who say that number is likely to rise. Much of the devastation from the 7.7 magnitude quake occurred in Mandalay, Myanmar's second largest city. The deadly quake was followed by a powerful aftershock and several more moderate ones. The tremor shook neighboring Thailand, tearing down a skyscraper under construction in the capital, Bangkok. Witnesses say people ran to the streets in panic. Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra sought to reassure residents that Bangkok's high-rise buildings are built to withstand quakes.
Buildings in Bangkok are constructed beyond the standard. Even if the earthquake had been stronger, they would still be able to withstand it. Right now, inspections show that all buildings are safe to return to. The only affected structures are those under construction, which have issues with stability and walls.
A U.S. government analysis based on the strength and depth of the quake estimated there could be thousands of deaths and severe economic loss.
And we send our condolences.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said Myanmar has asked for international support and that the UN is mobilizing its resources in the region.
We will be helping. We've already spoken with the country.
And U.S. President Donald Trump has said his administration would be providing some form of assistance.